I'm just gonna skip my usual cringe intro. Anyway, Phoebe just released version 2.1, and looking at the community posts on Twitter, Discord, Reddit, she sparks a little bit of discussion among the community because apparently she's a multi-role character. She can be a support with her confession mode, or a main damage dealer with absolution mode, which you know is the exact same role as Jinhsi, our Huanglong magistrate. This alone puts her in higher value than Jinhsi because not only she could deal damage, but also in the future maybe a support for another spectral damage dealer. Some people argue that it's too fast for Kuro to release another spectral character because it's gonna power creep Jinhsi. Some people think no, she is not power creeping her, and it makes people question themselves if they should pull for Phoebe or Jinhsi if they don't have a spectral damage dealer. So basically, the big question is that which one is better as a spectral DPS? Well, another argument people made is that both of them could just coexist with each other. Jinhsi is better against single target enemy, while Phoebe is just better for multiple enemies, especially in the newest endgame mode, Wuthering Ways. Honestly, I'm not gonna argue with that. Every Jinhsi's user should already know that it's really hard to use Jinhsi against multiple waves of enemies, especially because her main source of damage is just a single big hit. So if you want to hit multiple enemies, you need to gather them in a single spot together, so that your Dragon Beam could hit everything. Meanwhile for Phoebe, her main source of damage is her heavy attack in Absolution mode, or should I say the yellow mode here, which is a multi-hit that you can spam 4 times, so there's a room for error if you miss some of the enemies. So the next big question is that, could Phoebe perform the same, or even beat Jinhsi against a single target enemy? So I have both Jinhsi and Phoebe here, so I can actually do a comparison with the same echo, skill, and weapon investment. And also I'm not gonna do a comparison with S6 character here because I'm broke as fuck, so we'll just do S0R1 here. And obviously we're not gonna compare their performance in Wuthering Ways because Phoebe is gonna win that game mode 100%, so we're gonna use DOA instead. But of course, we cannot use the middle tower as the environment here because the middle tower buffs Spectral Vessel specifically, and again Phoebe is gonna win that easily with Spectral Rover in her team comp. You can argue that we can use Rover with Jinhsi to apply Spectral Vessel, but that means I have to switch someone out from her party here, either Cheche or Shorekeeper, and obviously we cannot kick Cheche because we really need her coordinated attack, so the only option is Shorekeeper. But that means you basically lose crit rate and crit damage in exchange for Spectral Vessel buff, which is not really ideal for Jinhsi here, especially since you really need crit rate for her Dragon Beam. So we have to use a neutral environment to make it fair for both Phoebe and Jinhsi. The left tower is actually really good because not only it buffs spectral damage, the requirement to get the second buff is also quite easy to do just by simply using your Resonant skill. So even Phoebe could still get the benefit from the buff as long as you use her Resonant skill. So the team that I'm gonna use for Jinhsi here is her best in slot team as for now, which is Cheche and Shorekeeper, with no signature and random as Moonlit and Healing set. Versus Phoebe here with Sanhua and Spectral Rover, using the same echo set as Cheche and Shorekeeper. Honestly, you can change Sanhua to Mortefi if you want to buff Phoebe's heavy attack damage, but overall I still clear faster with Sanhua because her rotation is just super fast, and her basic attack buff is still a good match with Phoebe. So without further ado, let's try with Jinhsi first. So as you can see, they clear pretty much within the same amount of time. So Phoebe doesn't really power grab Jinhsi entirely, but in terms of convenience, Phoebe is just better overall by a huge margin. Again, it's really hard to use Jinhsi against multiple enemies, especially in the first wave against 2 Wuthering dancer here. I literally have to retry multiple times to get the most efficient clear, while for Phoebe, it's pretty much just a single try. Also, another thing that I want to mention is that Phoebe's team is way cheaper than Jinhsi because I literally use Sanhua and Spectral Rover, which pretty much a free unit and could still clear within the same amount of time as Jinhsi here with Juju and Showkeeper, which is a full 5-star team. But to be fair, I'm pretty sure as for now Juju is just a temporary best-in-slot support for Jinhsi because Juju buffs Geishu. And in the future, we might get someone else who is going to replace her as Jinhsi's coordinated support that also buffs spectral damage. So there's a chance that Jinhsi's performance could still be improved in the future. The final verdict, I really hate to say this as one of Jinhsi's glazer, but as for now, yeah, Phoebe is just better overall. So if you don't have spectral damage dealer, I really recommend to pull for her. The only downside of her as for now is that you must pair her strictly with Spectral Rover to apply Spectral Frazzle, so that you don't have to use her Confusion mode, because if you use that, it's gonna be a huge damage loss. But again, by the end of the day, if you don't really care about meta, just pull for whoever you like. TOA is easy to begin with, and honestly, if you don't really want to dwell on the power creep problem, then there's only one thing you can do. Close the game, get a job, and start pulling for all the characters.